Blessings, Planting Seeds whānau. The next guest on the show is Te Rawhitiroa Bosch, someone who lives behind the camera to make it as though people who are seeing his content is a part of the kaupapa that he attends. He's a photographer, he's an activist, and is someone who is a champion for Te Ao Māori as a whole. I hope you enjoy this episode where we talk about the hīkoi, Waitangi, and awakening the Taniwha within. All right, we're here, Planting Seeds whānau, still on the grounds. And one thing that happens when you come to a space like this is you look around and there's just a sea of people everywhere. And in that sea of people, there are people that you would probably recognize. And the person that is sitting across from me has to be one of the most recognized faces in Te Ao Māori, Te Rawhitiroa. Nau mai hoki mai. Ki tēnei whare kōrero, brother.
Tēnā koe kara, aui.
How's the energy, bro?
Wow. Me ki kua ea, bro. Koe ngā mahi nui o tēnei wiki. I'm feeling satisfied that we did our best and we made some big impacts this week and just tau now and enjoying the rest and just being able to lie under the umbrella, and watch the goings on and watch our people just being awesome. And
what's been a highlight for you for this Waitangi in particular?
Well, as you know, with Toitū, like the hīkoi never stopped. The hīkoi kept going and the kaupapa kept going. And so in all of the lead up, we've been kind of aiming towards Waitangi as our next big activation. And a big activation it was. Ringa matau, ringa maui, it was awesome. Like in the lead up, we had put out that, we'll get the people together and we'll brief you on the day, left it a little bit mysterious because we didn't want the other side to know what we were up to. And we had initially planned that pōhuri. We would roll up the hill and huri tuara to the politicians, well, just to the government, the current government, and then walk away because, for years, people kind of treat that government pōhuri as like the highlight or the main event sort of thing. And we're like, they ain't the main event, and we don't want to be talking against things that we don't want. We want to be talking about things that we do want. Mm-hmm. So that was our initial thing. We go ka huri tuara, do the pōhuri, and then we'd walk down here to the forum tent and have creative, positive, powerful, inspirational kōrero about the Hawaii hau that we want to create. And anyway, so we thought that's all we were going to do. And in conversations, me and Nai's having conversations with our whanaunga up the top and stuff, and there was a bit of like, oh, but if you do this, then da-da-da. How's that going to go? Through that, we ended up having a big hui taumata of all our taumata kaumātua kuia and our generation as well in that hui. And it was a beautiful wānanga, bro. It was a beautiful wānanga around how do we uphold the mana and the tapu of our tikanga while also sending a very clear message to the government and especially old Siles that we are not down with whatever they're doing, that we are very against what they're doing. And also, we're asking questions like, why should we pōhuri this whala on? Or, our tikanga, if you lay down the wero, if you pick up the wero, you're coming in peace, right? Mm. But you come in peace and then you drop some puruhete on the marae ātea, that's not really coming in peace, is it? So, how do we uphold that tikanga? But if you saw the taki yesterday, the brothers, they sent a very clear message, very clear message.
And what does it look like? What does the clear message look like in terms of it's being received?
Yeah, well, ko kōrero kia eru, ka reo mo te kōrero ki ngā taringa e turi ana kia tātou. Really, I don't think Siles, it's in the name. He's blind to what we're doing. He's deaf to what we're doing, and I kind of don't want to waste time talking to him, which is why we did the huri tuara and came down here. But like I said, we looked at how we could do our tikanga, also like in terms of the pōhiri. How can we still uphold our tikanga while showing them that actually, we're not holding them up here. So down to our kaikaranga, instead of having all of our wāhine tuku nei te karanga, we had one powerful kaikaranga muritere, And the message that she had in her karanga was also ko wai koe, ko tū koe, ko rongo koe. How are you coming? What are your intentions? Be real clear about that when you're coming onto our marae. Instead of having a few different kai kōrero and all the mihi whakarangatira, we had one, and he gave a very clear message. It's hard to welcome you onto our marae because of everything that you guys are doing to our people. Direct attacks, bro. There's no other way to look at it. Direct 7AA, direct attack against our kids. The removal of te reo Māori from everywhere. Direct attack on te reo Māori. Te aka whai ora, disestablishing the Māori Health Authority. Direct attack on our health. The smoking thing. Oh, Dr. Hikareti, bro, direct attack on our people. So all of these things are direct attacks, and they're one after the other. So like he was saying, it's hard to welcome you onto here, and the things that you guys have been doing to our people. So in all these different ways that they may or may not understand, we were showing them that, we're not happy. We're still going to, you're still, when we're going to uphold our tikanga, but we're going to be very clear and more than we could have wished, because our taumata and our ngā iwi o te tautokero were unified, 99% unified in our decisions. We said if Seymour stands again to talk his kaka, we're all going to hurituara as a strong sign that, we don't agree with what you say. We don't want our kids to hear what you say. We don't want our whānau to hear what you say, because what you're saying is, I don't want to get into that. But, and also with the coalition government, with National, with New Zealand First, they're all, carrying out these things. They're waving the Treaty Principles Bill over here as a look at this. And we got up in arms about that. And they're saying, we won't, or like New Zealand First and National, well, we won't put this through. They haven't said anything about not putting the Regulatory Standards Bill through. And that's the one that actually has the real big teeth. That's the Trojan horse that's actually dangerous. So, they're going like this, but actually this is the one that they're putting through. And,
Sly,
and we know, like they're not going to get it past us, but they're going to do all they can to kind of distract from it. So while that's going on, we're like, no, we're not hearing it. And what a beautiful moment. And I'm so proud of our people, bro. So proud of our people. Because, when they came on, as soon as he stood up, all of our taumata, all our kai kōrero stood up, turned their backs instantly. And then Uncle Hone came and got because all our wahine, they were the backbone of this whole thing. Our wahine me ngā prae ki te whero, and the prae ki te whero are like a metaphor for the red blankets that we use to steal our lands. We'll trade you one blanket for 10,000 acres. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what the prae ki te whero is about. And all our wahine wearing their prae ki te whero. Uncle Hone came and told the cops to, hey, step aside, let these ladies through.
You see it on the podcast, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And then the lion covered the whole ātea, and they're all hurituara. So the men on the taumata hurituara, all the wahine on the taumata hurituara, and whala keep talking, keep spewing his rhetoric. And so our rangatira Aperehama wasn't about to sit and listen to David's rhetoric, so he rolled over, grabbed the mic, just humbly walked over, grabbed the mic, put it up by the maho. And I was a little bit sad. Our papa, Te Waihoroi, went and got it and gave it back. And maybe in his mind he was thinking, oh, that's a bit too much. But then Perama rolled up again.
Did he?
Grabbed the mic again twice.
Whoa.
And put it down. And when he was interviewed about it after, I saw on one of the news things, he said, our tupuna said to take care of the things that our children hear and the things our children see. And he was saying stuff that's damaging to our tamariki ears. So us turning our back is a sign we're not having it, and you're to stop talking and sit down. But old David, he doesn't have a clue. He just keeps going. Nobody can hear what he's saying, but he keeps going anyway. And when he kept going, and then when Waihoroi gave it back again, I'm not having that, because Aperehama was looking after what our children hear, what our children see. And I got so much respect for him for that. And it's interesting, because those moments, and we were talking about it in the panel around story sovereignty, those moments send such a clear message and, you know, with no words, you know, with the action of walking across. And I was directly opposite him. I'd come around and I caught the photos of him just grabbing it and walking away. And that sends such a clear message. It's like, nah, man, you can't come here and, you know, spit that kind of kōrero and expect to be all good, you know? Like, what you're doing in your policies every day is damaging direct attacks on our kids, on our people, and we're not having it. So I think that message was really clear. And so, te ringa matau, te ringa maui. So our crew, led by Eru, and he had a kōrero directly to David and them. You would have heard that. That was powerful. And then they hurituara, and then they walked down here to our space, our mana motu hake space, where we could talk about where we want to go, the Hawaii ke mokopuna. And then up there, our taumata, our taumata wahine, ngā wahine o te tautokero, ngā parai ki te whero. Massive.
And then
Apirehama grabbing the mic. Yeah. And
is that something for us as Māori to be proud of, you know, the way that is? Is that something, because, you know, someone who's seen that, because there's talk about, you know, tikanga on the marae, and that's a space to, you know, have debate. But for something like that to happen and for it to follow tikanga, that's not something that has been seen in a modern era,
or we haven't seen it as
often. And so, you know, for us, or people who might be looking from the sideline, or who perhaps, you know, watching from afar, can they feel proud about seeing something like that?
Hard out. And I think, you know, this was something that we had in our discussions as toitu, also in the discussions that we had in the wānanga that we had with our taumata, is that those fellas, I don't want to keep saying his name, those fellas want us to act up and be violent and throw dirt and stuff so they can get their social media team to get a record of it and say, see, those Maoris are angry. See, those Maoris are unruly. See, they're savages. All of that sort of stuff. All the rhetoric that he's trying to push already. So we were like, no,
we're not falling into that.
Well, we're not giving you that. We're not giving you anything. We're giving you our back. You know, we're not going to listen to you, and we're not going to give you any fuel for your fire. And they can spin what happened any way they want. But actually, the message is what you're saying and what you're doing is not acceptable.
Man.
And that was a clear message within our tikanga. And I really want to challenge this whakaaro that is like, it's like taken as a given that, oh, me manaaki te manuhiri aha ko te aha. You know, like that's the rhetoric that is around. And I get it. Yeah, me manaaki te manuhiri, but as if that's how our tupu, you know, taunga tuku ho te rā. Yeah, I get it. But you wouldn't manaaki a manuhiri that comes onto your marae and spits in your kaumatua's face. You wouldn't manaaki a manuhiri that comes in and punches your mokopuna in the face in front of you. You wouldn't. Like, that wouldn't have happened back in the day. It would have been moinga toto back in the day if you had, you know, caused offence or done something like that. And yet we think we have to just sit here and take that kind of stuff. Oh no, me tauterangi Māori. Really? Really? I think that's something that we really need to examine.
Wow.
And I'm not saying we need to go around knocking people's heads off. You know, I'm not saying that. No. But I am saying I think we've got too PC. Like, yeah, the marae atu is a place to debate, but it's also, you know, can get fisticuffs there if, you know. If it goes there. Yeah. And I don't think that we should just accept, you know, someone taking a shit on your marae and then leaving. And that's what they do every year. You know, and so I was so proud of our people, bro.
That's so cool to hear, bro. And you've got such a cool perspective and a cool view because, you know, you're someone behind the lens and you capture these special moments that makes it as though people who are seeing those snapshots, like you're bringing them here so they can be a part of it. And, you know, that's a big part of your mahi is capturing moments and experiences that people can feel that they're there witnessing it themselves. And before we go into that kōrero, bro, is there a simplified way to actually talk about Waitangi? Is it something for us to celebrate? Is it, you know, what is Waitangi, you know, for our whānau who are watching and listening?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. People say, celebrate. It's a holiday. It's not a holiday if you're Māori. It's actual not. I don't know any whānau that are holidaying over Waitangi. But it is a time for us to commemorate it is a time for us to re-examine those relationships and those connections and stuff. And we already know the treaty hasn't been honoured, isn't being honoured, continues to be dishonoured by the Crown at least. So for us, it's a time of work. We got work to do. And, what happened up here, what's been happening in the forum tent, we got work to do. And one of the focuses that, we wanted to have within Toitu and within the Waitangi Forum and stuff is not always be just fighting against or being reactive or responsive to the attacks. We also want to push a little bit, plant seeds, bro. Plant seeds. So push, plant seed, push, plant seeds, push. So that we're not wasting all our energy on the whawhai, but we're also planting seeds to grow the future, the Hawaii mokopuna, mo ngā tamariki. So that's something that I think it's cool to see the conversation shifting. Even here, there was a big difference with the forum tent, as we didn't have politicians just coming in, talking about their party's policies this year. We had dynamic, powerful kōrero, and there's dynamic and powerful kōrero every year, don't get me wrong, but the focus was different now because we're not responding to what politicians want to talk about. It's the people leading this conversation, and it's not reacting or responding, it's proactive, it's creative.
Man, what a shift that is. What a cool
beautiful
shift. And that can just speak to what's happening in the backgrounds of, those wānanga and, coming to an agreement around, okay, this is what the mission is, Hawaii ki hau, Hawaii ki mokopuna, and it's having a strategy and a plan to put things in place so that can actually happen. And, a lot of people are seeing, Waitangi, they're seeing what's happening in the forum temperature, very much so pivotal in what's happening behind the scenes. And so paint a picture of that, bro. What does that even look like? Because I can organize things in some kind of scale, and it's quite challenging, to put pieces together and working with different people. And so for you as a hapaio, what does that look like for our whānau, who are watching as well, bro?
Relationships. That's what all of this is based on. And there's people like Nais, you may not have, or you would have seen her in our stuff, but you may not have seen her kind of up there in the bright shining lights during the Hīkoi, but she was the one, the one that we were all supporting and stuff like that. But in terms of organising the Hīkoi, working with our 150 coordinators across the country, working with each different community, working with the police, working with, relationships. And, embedded here for years, she's been doing that mahi. We're only kind of new coming into that space, but everything I do is relationship based as well. And so, when we're talking about activations yesterday, it was going to ruffle some feathers. And so we have to maintain those relationships, look after those relationships. And sometimes, to do the thing, you got to, push some relationships. Some people might not be ready to step off the status quo. But do we all just sit on the status quo, or do we need to push and then work on, rebuilding and, strengthening and stuff like that? So that's a really big thing. And, the connection between the different parts, ringa matau, ringa maui, o kawa, o paki, taha hapai, o amorangi.
Balance,
all of those things, having those relationships between people, that's what makes everything, happen. And, and it's beautiful to see it all come off, eh?
That'll never get old though, eh, bro? There's the planning phase, and then there's the working together phase, and then there's the at the end where it's all come together, and it's just the joy that
magic,
comes with it, bro. Like you said,
people are magic.
Yeah, I love that, bro.
Yeah.
And can we speak a little bit about the Hīkoi, bro? Because this is the flow on of the Hīkoi. This is the second phase of, what that was. And what a time, for our people to have a voice, to be seen, to be clear, and to have this momentum build into this massive tidal wave that finished off down in Pōneke and Te Whananui Atara. And so going from the top of the North Island down to the bottom of it, talk about that kōrero for you, because it feels like it was a physical journey, but it felt a lot more wairua driven than anything. So am I wrong to say that, or is that?
Pono katoa tērā. And again, the relationships was massive, and the building of the energy as we went from the hiku to the upoko, still just like trying to decode, trying to debrief, trying to, integrate all the lessons and the amazing experiences. It was everything and more, and, there were some things that we did very deliberately. The whole way that our team, our shooters, our photographers and videographers and stuff, the whole way that we work was very intentional. Very intentional, and that like we had a hui beforehand, and a couple of the things that we laid down was, one, we know mainstream media is going to try and make our numbers seem less. So let's show the scale. Let's show the power. Let's show the... Two, we know they're going to look for, those angry Maoris over there, if there's a fight over there, or if there's, rah. They're going to make that so if there's 100,000 people and 10 people are fighting, all of the news stories going to be about those 10 that were fighting. So we are going to show the power, the beauty, the love, the peace, the magic, and it will be everywhere. That also sets a tone, eh? So if we're in Kaitaia and we record that, and then we're in the car between Kaitaia and Kawakawa, we were editing and uploading, bam, as we were going, and then we get out, activate again, shoot that, get in the car in Kawakawa,
edit on
shooting,
the way.
editing on the way to Whangarei, uploading, get into Whangarei, Pōhuri, boom, nighttime, editing, upload, wake up in the morning, activate, bam, and we did that down the whole country. As we were putting out, though, you think about Te Tautokero, we went bam. So we'd had a couple of days worth of content pumping out there. By the time we got down to Dargaville, Tūnatahi, everyone already knew what the vibe was, and so they turned up with that. The vibe was powerful, strong, beautiful Māori. Like it wasn't rah. Like we were angry, and I tuaugi te koro, kai konei te riri, tika na kia riri tātou. It's right that we should be angry, we should be furious. And we are, but let that not drive us. Let that not be the thing. Not drive us. Let that not steer us. It can drive us. It can give us that fight, that energy. But that's not what's steering us, actually. Our self-determination, our mana motuake is what steers us. And so that's the energy that we put out there with all of the posts and stuff like that. And so everywhere we went, people just fit right into that energy. So that was another thing. So we knew they were going to play down the numbers as well. And I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. Even some of our Māori media was quoting the 42,000.
Yeah.
Bro, there were 160,000 bus and train tickets into the city that day. That doesn't even count all the people that drove, all the people that already live in Wellington, the other ones that came on the ferry. So even if all of those 160,000 didn't come on the Hīkoi, there was still more than 42,000 people came into the city that day, right? And then here's another thing. So we had the Hīkoi, we left Waitangi Park all the way down Courtney Place, and then down through Manners Mall, Willis Street, and then down Courtney, right? By the time our upoko got to Parliament was already full. We struggled to get our upoko into there. So we had about 20 minutes mucking around trying to get everyone seated and situated. And then when we started the whai kōrero, we got a phone call, one of our bros, Te Wehi, who was emceeing down there. He got a phone call from Te Hamua, who was emceeing back up at Waitangi Park.
Still more people there.
No, he just rang up and said, hey, the tail just left. So we had already got there, already been 20 minutes there getting situation. Then the whai kōrero started and the tail just left Waitangi Park. That means the whole of Lambton Quay, Willis, Manners, Courtney.
Chocker.
There were still people. And they want to try and tell us there was 42. There might have been 42,000 on the ground inside of the fence at Parliament. And then if you see the aerials, there's those streets are along the outside that were all full, like blocks. And then there was the rest of
the visual that I'm getting is, the time lapse that was on of it's just like in a high building, and it's just like a bloody tuna or something, bro.
And then it looks like it's fading out, and then boom, another wave just comes and comes.
Yeah, and then it's got 100,000 people at the Hīkoi and like clear.
Well, that again was real deliberate, bro, because I was seeing I put that post up, and we got sent that post by one of our tangata Tiriti allies, bro. And I want to mihi to that person. They couldn't be named, because they work for someone.
Yeah.
But they did that, and they were like, yeah, happy as to support. You don't need to mention
me,
but here I want to support. That was beautiful. Anyway, I was seeing all this in 32,000 and 42,000 and stuff. I'm like, bruh,
There's no way.
There's more people than fit in a stadium, like it just didn't even make sense. And all of these media outlets quoting these numbers. And I was like, Brian, I'm sick of this. And again, take control of the narrative. We're telling the story here. We're actually here. We're telling the story. And so we put that out and they got like 200,000 views in like 10 minutes, and
because people know the truth too, and people are ho-ha with like the lies that
or the spin. Yeah. And here's the thing. So I'll go back to those things. So we knew they would play down the numbers, so we're going to show the numbers. We knew they would look for drama, so we're going to show beauty and power. We also knew that they were going to go, it's just a thing for Maoris, right? We had a thing, we laid it down, and we came up with humans of the Hīkoi, just like humans of New York, that sort of thing, humans of the Hīkoi. And so we intentionally, and we talked to our crew, wherever you go, let's go for diverse. So let's go kaumātua and queer. We want to get tamariki voices. We want to get professionals. We want to get students. We want to get Māori, tangata tiriti, tangata moana, tauiwi. We had stories over that week.
They were so diverse.
So diverse. And then, for a old Pākehā male to see an old Pākehā male saying, it's really important. I'm here because this is the right thing to do. It's horrible what our government's doing. It's shameful, and you get an old Pākehā fella saying that, that's going to speak to the old Pākehā fellas in the audience.
That's right.
You get a Samoan mama who's in there taking her mokopuna with her. She's going to talk to our tangata moana audience. We had my mate Julie, haina mana, reo Māori.
Bro, I saw that.
She's amazing. But she interviewed other whānau from Asia. Kōrero Māori. Beautiful too.
Bro, that was so inspiring, bro.
But imagine if you're a tangata tauiwi, you've come into this country and you're seeing someone who, is from the same place as you saying, this is important. Te tiriti is why I'm here. Why I can be here. Those sorts of things. So that was another thing. We knew they were going to try and say, it's just angry Maoris. Like last Hīkoi, old Helen Plucks, old haters and wreckers. We knew they would try that, but we were like, nah, this is who the Hīkoi is. And it was everyone. And as we came down the country, I know for sure that people down here saw that and went, I can be part of that. I have a place in this movement. And they came, I know that because they came and told me. They told us, we saw your footage and we just had to come. We had to come. We had to be here. It's the right thing to do, all of that sort of stuff.
And so it grew. Hey, the further down you fellas went, it just felt like a snowball. It started off one, and then the further it went down, the bigger it got. And then you've got even te whare tau o te aroa, you're getting all of that kōrero, and then you're going down to Kau. It was just so mean to see the magic of our people, you know, and all of these different parts of the motu.
And they were waiting for us, babe. Like, as we went down, one of the real highlights, and I'll never forget, like little places like Tito, right? The sides of the road, the whole town, the whole sides of the road, just people with flags waving, and they waited there all day. Like our convoy was going, like it was a long convoy, and it would have been hours they would have been there, or we'd be coming down from Te Taitokero, heading into Tāmaki, and there's all those overbridges.
Yes.
Bro, there's like some of those overbridges are real high, like. And there's like 4 people up there with a big tuna flag all day. It's cold, it's windy. They're like, and like, because people could see.
There must be Waitangi uplift, for those of you who have been on the Hīkoi from the start, because it can get quite draining, and it is draining. But when you're getting into these towns and you're seeing that kind of tautoko, bro, it must just give you a surge of Waitangi just to keep charging. Has to.
Yeah, and then in Tito, actually, it was funny because one of our tauira, we had a photography wānanga, and one of our tauira, she said the highlight of her Hīkoi, she actually took a photo and posted it up of me out the window and Whatanui out the other window. When I got into Tito.
For the shot.
Well, when we got into Tito, we were coming and I was yelling out, "You guys are the highlight of our day!" And then she was like, "The highlight of my day was my photography on Rawhitiroa saying we're the highlight of his day." It was that thing. Oh, like you never forget little towns. Some of them, it's not even a town. It's like you're driving in the Wops and there's a auntie out on her four-wheeler waving her flag on the side of the road in the farm.
Yeah.
People on their decks, little kids playing in the yard, holding a flag, like everywhere.
Far. So it's not
Actually
even
everywhere.
people who are in the Hīkoi, or even, there was 100,000 or 100
At
plus.
least 100,000.
At least down. But look at all the other whānau who are a part of the movement, but who weren't there physically. I wasn't there physically, however, but although that wasn't happening, there was still so many people who were supporting,
Ko tātou,
ko tātou katoa i roto i tērā momo āhuatanga. So, for you fellas to have that kind of whakaaro again, to know that the media is a weapon, that mainstream, or the mainstream media is a weapon to, go against us as Māori, but you fellas know that, and being able to see and already predict what they were going to do, and reversing it.
Yeah.
That's smart, bro. And
we had some good strategy.
Deliberate. The strategy was great,
Yeah. And also what it did was it really showed up their bias and their bullshit. There was somebody collected up a whole bunch of New Zealand Herald headlines, and we know they're racist anyway. But in the face of all this beautiful, loving Māori Pākehā walking hand in hand down the road, all of the stuff, in the face of all of this, they still had the cheek to post all these, police will crack down on protesters, like all of these sorts of
catch lines.
Yeah, all these trashy airs, but like denigrating headlines. And someone collected them all up, and it's like, really? Like, we can see the truth. We can see it everywhere, like it was across everywhere on social media. We can see the truth, and you still want to talk this bullshit? Like that sort of thing. So it was like, we felt really good. We're like, nah, we are owning this narrative. We're showing people the beauty and the power of, of what our movement is and who we are, and with that, what we're standing for, not just against. And I think the for is what actually drew a lot of people in.
That's a cool switch up, eh?
Yeah.
Because you can always be fighting against something, but what are you fighting for? It's a completely different way of going about things. It's a different driver.
Positive, creative, inspiring.
Yes.
And so having that, like that really made a difference to the movement. And I think that's why we got such big numbers, because it was aspirational. People came in, and it was empowering. It was, inspirational.
That's so great, Te Rawhitiroa. And we've been going for a short while. I know we can just carry on, but I wanted this episode just to be fully in that same momo. Let's just get in there, let's just go hard and inspire our people. And I want you to finish off by just talking about we've had the Hīkoi with Waitangi, and I wasn't joking when there's a sea of people. I've walked all around the grounds and feels like a Hīkoi, or someone said it's like a mini One Love here. And so what's next for us, bro? Do we think about what's next, or do we sit in the moment and acknowledge it, or where your thoughts in regards to that?
I think both and, both and. Our Toitu crew, we had a bit of a debrief with some of our mentors, Matua Hone Arawira and Aperehama as well, yesterday after our activations. Nā ka no mātou ka pūmahara, what we and well, what things can we learn and grow about. And then we were thinking about, where do we go next? There's immediate fights that we have to fight. So right now we're taking the government to court, through the Waitangi Tribunal for breaches of the treaty with the Regulatory Standards Bill. And the government's going like this with the treaty principles, but this is the dangerous one, and we really, really need to pay attention. So, Toitu, we're putting in a claim, and it's been accepted, and we want as many people to jump on as claimants as possible. We want to make this a big class action suit. So if you whakapapa Māori, you can get the links in my page and the Toitu page and Edu's page, all of our pages, we've all got links to it. If you're whakapapa Māori, you can sign up as a claimant, and if you don't whakapapa Māori, you can sign up as a kaitautoko, and we're going to gather those names of all our kaitautoko, and it'll be one of those things, bro, in 50 years, you'll be able to go, see there, moko? I took the government to court for, for their mahi tūkino. And that's a way for us to stand against what they're doing. And also to me, Waitangi Tribunal, 50 years this year.
Wow.
And the intentions that we're put into setting it up, and our mātanga who are in the mahi raweke that old Tamapōtaka is doing now. Right. So this is also a wero to that. It's a wero to all of these things that the government's doing that's attacking us.
Direct attack.
And that's just one other. You know, we have to keep on. And what's been really cool is that, you know, before the hīkoi, we were like, get ready. Everyone, we had the activations, those first and second activations. Get ready. Everyone's like, yeah, we're ready. Okay, hīkoi, now let's go. We're on. Boom, we're on. And then we said at the end of the hīkoi, this hīkoi is not finished. I te wai whakamoe te Māori, we didn't whakamoe the Māori of the hīkoi. We just said, this chapter closed. Next chapter still open. This is the next chapter. You know, te matatini, another chapter. You bet all of these kapa are going to have something to say. And I really want to encourage all our kaihaka who are getting up and doing those haka on stage about these things to also carry that haka off stage. Carry that haka to the streets when we need to activate. Carry that haka to the courts when we need to activate. Carry it to the media, to the social media when we're telling the stories. We control the narrative. You know, people were talking about this government as a three-headed taniwha. I'm like, bah, don't waste this manawhau word taniwha on the government. Hey, taniwha he tupua. Taniwha's a kaitiaki. Taniwha's powerful. Taniwha's strong. Now, we're the taniwha. They're just a ngangara.
True. So we are the better approach, or the better terminology.
Three-headed ngarara, you know, a pest, a bug, you know. But we're the taniwha. Te hikuro, tēnei taniwha starts at te rerenga Wairoa all the way down to the upoko, te ika, and te waipaunamu hoki. They came up on the other side. We are the taniwha that has been awoken. And, you know, like now, we're a taniwha that knows how to do submissions to bills. 300,000 submissions, 300,000 plus submissions to the Treaty Principles Bill. There has never been that many responses to anything in the government in New Zealand ever. 300,000. Never. So now our people know how to activate in that way. There's never been 100,000 people marching on Pōneke. You know, we've had our hīkoi throughout the years, and to be clear, this isn't a new thing and it wasn't the end. This is a continuation of the mahi done by our kuia whina, done by Uncle Hone and all of them, you know, with the CBDM foreshore. These are just continuations. But we're learning and we're growing off what they've done. It's like a relay, you know, like, something that stands here, eh? Our ceiling is your floor. Yeah. So their ceiling, as far as they could push it, that became our floor. And then we push it as far as we can, and that becomes the floor for our tamariki. So, like, we're growing stronger, and they don't know who they're messing with. They actually don't. You know, if you think of who our circles are now, we have got judges, lawyers, doctors, you know, media people who are savvy, who know how to tell stories. You know, we've got organizers, we've got community organizers, we've got health people, we got everyone, and our people are skilled, and our people are ready, and our people are now activated. They've woken up a taniwha.
Yeah.
And you know, yesterday was an example of that. Ngā iwi. Now, when I'm keen to see our iwi starting to organize. Our iwi starting to, you know, being Māori is a political statement. You can't be apolitical and be Māori. You know, like, and that whole idea that we should be apolitical is actually just a way to keep oppressing us. This is a way to keep you quiet. Don't say anything. Don't challenge the status quo. You know, all of those sorts of things.
But here we are.
Here we are, bro.
Eyes are awoken, bro. That's going to be the title
of
this podcast, my brother. But just want to mihi to you, bro, for all of your beautiful mahi. And, you know, you're someone who is definitely for the kaupapa. You're someone who is a champion for Te Ao Māori and everything that encapsulates it. And I think what it is that you are doing and how you go about it is just being received from a generation of people that is now awakening to where we are at the moment and how we can be a part of it. So e mihi nui ana ki a koe, my brother. There's no one else like you, my bro. And we've just focused on this kaupapa, but there's so many pūrākau, there's so many other things that I know we can talk about in other times. But I just want to mihi to you and thank you so much for the time, my brother.
Che mai, bro.
Che. Tēnā koutou e te whānau.
As I said, te whānau, keep active, let's go.
Let's go. Miki, brother.
Inga.